topic number 1 here today comes from Bounding Into Comics. As I hit the wrong button. There we go. I got the right button. And this is regarding their theatrical window for movie releases. And I thought this was interesting, so I wanted to ask you a couple things before we start, because I wanted your take on this. When you go see a movie in theater, first of all, it's like a financial responsibility. Like, if you're not making really good money, like, it's a commitment to go see a movie, right? And what, you know...
Isn't it like $10 per ticket now?
When we went to see Kingsman, that was $15 a ticket.
No way.
And that's before you pay for your food and everything, right? So think of it like this, like, so if you're gonna go make that commitment, it's like beef jerky. Going to see a movie is like beef jerky. No matter how much money you make, it's always still too expensive.
Unless you buy the Costco brand.
Even yeah, but then you gotta buy bulk and everything. Are y'all fixed up there?
Oh, yeah, I'm fixing my shirt.
Okay, she's good. People listening to the podcast have no idea what we're talking about.
He's like just staring at me, and I'm over here like trying to shove something.
Yes.
And it's just my shirt.
I'm just like, really? So basically, movies are an expensive thing to go do. If you were to go see a movie, right, and there's something you really want to see, how long would you wait? Like, is it a requirement for you to want to go see it, like, on the opening weekend? Would you wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Is 3 weeks too many? How long would you usually let a movie sit in the theaters before you'll go see it?
I think I mentioned it yesterday, but the day before yesterday. Usually when I watch movies, I wait until they're released on a streaming service because I'm already paying those. So I'd rather wait because I'm already paying the money. I don't want to go like pay extra money to go out somewhere because you're paying for gas and then food, like you said. But I only go when my friends want to go.
Okay. So it really doesn't matter to you when it's in the theaters, as long as it's more the social experience of going with people you want to go with.
Yeah, and I also watch spoiler reviews, so I already know what's going to happen. My friends hate that because they're like, you're not going to be excited. But yesterday we had the argument, which is like, spoiler reviews is overrated. Like, you shouldn't be like offended that somebody told you the ending or something, unless you're really excited, like Spider-Man No Way Home.
I think what you mean is that people give too much weight to spoilers when it should be about the movie experience as a whole.
Yeah,
right?
Like there was a whole episode in The Simpsons where Bart like tries to spoil, like he was blackmailing the whole town to spoil the ending of their versions of the Avengers.
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, it's like one of the newest seasons. Basically what happened was their version of Disney captured him and put a VR set on him. So like all the characters in the movie, they said, oh, we're actually real. And every time you tell a spoiler alert, it lets like the villains know what we're going to do. So if you do that, we're all going to die. And he's like, and then their version of Thanos is like, well, spoiler boy, I have a phone for you that can be your superpower. And you can be on the dark side with us. And he looked like he was going to take it, but he didn't. So like basically that's how they were like, okay, are you not going to tell any spoilers now? And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to tell it. Everybody go watch the movie. And then after everybody watched it in premiere day, they started like texting what it was and tweeting.
So spoilers don't really bother you, so you'd rather wait for
that was
the movie.
long-winded.
That was very long-winded. That's okay. That's okay. So you don't mind waiting for it to come out on a streaming service. I take a little bit of a different view. To me, the theater is about the experience as a whole, meaning the size of the screen, the fact that you're literally paying extra money on like I can pay for all the streaming services in the world and still put something on in the background and not pay attention to it. But when you pay money to go see a movie in the theater, it forces you to sit there and pay attention.
Oh yeah, that's true.
In a way that my ADHD doesn't allow me to do when I'm at home. Like very few movies, like I've mentioned in a couple of videos recently that I loved the Suicide Squad, the new one from James Gunn. Very few movies have the ability to hold my attention and watch it the whole way through without doing something else. That was one of the rare exceptions. But in theater, no matter how good or how bad the movie is, you have to stay there and pay attention. And I'm bringing this up because I wanted your opinion on theaters in general, because what it is Warner Brothers is changing their release model, even after saying they wouldn't. And it says, Warner Brothers announces new films release on HBO Max just 45 days after theatrical premiere, starting with The Batman. So this kind of would appeal to someone more with your view than mine. It says, despite their previous declaration that Matt Reeves' The Batman would be the studio's first film to debut exclusively in theaters following the conclusion of their 2021 dual release experiment, Warner Brothers has now changed their mind and announced that The Dark Knight's latest epic will receive an earlier than expected HBO Max premiere date. Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar recently confirmed that Reeves' film will have a 45-day run in theaters before it winds up on HBO Max, a model mirroring the one that they first employed in 2021 by Viacom CBS with Paramount Plus and adopted a year later by Disney Plus, meaning that other studios are doing this as well. It says, quote, think about when movies would show up on HBO Max, which is 8 to 9 months after the theatrical premiere, Kilar said in a recent interview with Vox's Recode. The Batman is going to show up on day 46, April 19th on HBO Max. This is a huge change from where things were from 2017, 2016, 2018. In a move Kilar is very ecstatic about, this new policy will also affect the releases in 2022, so Black Adam, The Flash, and other tentpole films will now have the same 45-day theatrical release window. Quote, I feel really good knowing that The Batman, Black Adam, The Flash, and Elvis, a Baz Luhrmann musical about the king of rock and roll, and a whole host of other movies are literally going to be showing up on day 46 on HBO Max in a variety of territories all over the world, he added. This is a very big change, and I don't think people appreciate, and I feel really good about it. So what's interesting here is I looked up the date, like how long movies usually stay in theaters. They're usually in theaters about a month.
Oh, really?
Unless it's really bad, like they'll pull them, they get gradually less and less theaters as they go, right? So there's less and less places where you're seeing it. But that used to be much longer. It used to be 50 days to 60 days sometimes. But what's interesting is that then you have this long period where then you wait for it to come out on DVD, back in the day. I used to always wonder, is that just how long it takes to make DVDs? Obviously that's not true. At least I don't think that's true.
No, so there's a documentary showing how fast they can make DVDs.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how fast was it?
I don't know, because like most of it is mechanical now, because like humans don't need to touch it unless like there's something stuck. But that's basically
workers unite.
I know, robots are taking our jobs, you guys.
They're taking our gerbs.
But yeah, but also I want to make a comment. If you're like a person who drinks a lot of liquid, like that's an expensive pee. Like when you go to movie theaters.
Oh yeah, I was like, sorry. I was like, what the hell is she talking? I was like, did her brain just shut off? And then when you finish your statement, I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah. So for me, that's why I don't like it, because like at home you can just pause it and go to the bathroom, or like you have, you can pause it, or
that is a very expensive trip to the bathroom.
Yeah, because like you said, we paid $15 to watch Kingsman.
Yep.
If I went to the bathroom, that's like $5 down the drain.
Okay, I don't know about 5. Somebody should do the math on that. Like that would be awesome if somebody would go through and like, okay, $15 minus 2.5 hour movie. That's however many dollars a minute, and you're in the bathroom for 5. Somebody should figure that out.
We can ask Film Dairy to do it.
That would be funny.
Get Matt Pat on the show.
And I'm one of those people where I'm the same way. Like I get annoyed when I have to go to the bathroom at the movie theater. Hell, I get annoyed. Like when we're filming this podcast, I get annoyed because I can't live without my energy drink while we're recording this. And then by the end, I'm like, ugh. Not the most appetizing conversation, but it is expensive if you go to a movie and you do that. So, I mean, I still think I don't think this is bad, because I don't see this as a threat to its box office.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to go see the Batman in the movie theater, you're going to go see it in the movie theater. Waiting 45 days for streaming release, for big budget films, I don't see that as much of a threat.
But I felt like Black Panther was longer in movie theaters. Wasn't it in movie theaters about 5 months?
It could have been. You'd have to look that up.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up. But I feel like it's been there longer. But like again, Black Panther had a lot of box sale.
But in general, these movies, like they get less as they go over the weeks. They just gradually remove it from theaters slowly, depending on how popular the movie is, right? So it says, in addition, Warner Brothers also dropped another feel-good update regarding the Batman, this time in the form of a new trailer which shed more light on the film's plot. Okay, we talked about that yesterday. I think this is really interesting because we're in this transition phase as far as how entertainment is consumed in the media.
Yeah.
Meaning that we had a conversation the other week about the disposability of streaming services. Like you're almost too young to remember, but there was such a thing as straight to video.
Yeah.
Where like Aladdin is a classic Disney animated movie, but they also made Aladdin 2 and and they made The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. What is it like?
Simba's Pride.
Yeah.
I have all the movies. I have the VHS tapes for Aladdin, and then I had all the DVDs for Lion King because they made 4 movies technically.
So a lot of it is like a lot of these things that would have just gone straight to DVD now just go to streaming services. That's what straight to DVD is. So I just don't know if the bigger box office movies, people want to go see the Batman, and for better or worse, because the Batman is less of one you have to worry about spoilers, because it's going to be more about the cinematic experience as a whole. But I don't see that this, I don't see the 45-day theatrical window really having as much of a problem with it. Because if anything, I then tended to forget. Like Marvel would release a movie, like I saw most of the big ones, but like I didn't go see Thor 2, The Dark World. And by the time it came out on DVD, I had completely forgot about it, right? And so you have no more connection to it, no interest. You're still going to be able to drum up some connection and interest and desire to talk about these movies if you release them direct to streaming after that, after you give it a sufficient amount of time to make the money it needs to make in the theaters. Yeah,
for sure. But like, I don't know. It just depends on people. The person. Because like, basically like how we're talking about Kim Kardashian yesterday, how she spoiled Spider-Man No Way Home. Some people are actually waiting for it. So it depends, because like they know there's spoilers out there and they know it's in theaters, but they're just still waiting.
I just don't know. Yeah. I mean, that's true. Like, there's clearly those people are waiting, whether it's because they just don't have, they couldn't get to the they were too scared to go to the theater, or they, what was the reason? I mean, I refuse to believe that they weren't able to find showtimes a week and a half or 2 weeks later. You can get into the theater by that point.
Yeah.
So
watch it on a Monday because everybody's pretty much at
work. Yeah, that's what we should be doing. Well, we can't because we got to go see it on opening weekend when we go see
because
stuff.
Tim wants us to have the right away news.
Yes. So yeah, this will be an interesting. It's kind of like it's a growth model of before they were doing. So this past year, all of HBO Max's movies came out in the theaters and HBO Max at the same time, and they suffered because of it. As bad as The Matrix was, it would have made a little bit more money had they not released it on HBO Max. I think the same is probably true for Kong, for Godzilla vs. Kong, which came out on streaming and in theaters.
It did.
So I think all of those HBO movies that came out, like the Suicide Squad especially, well, that suffered from bad marketing and a bad name. It should have had a more distinguished name. All of those movies would have done so much better if they had only been given a theater release. So
I don't know, but
yeah. So basically, it doesn't bother you to wait.
It doesn't bother me. Like, for example, when I brought up Black Panther, so it premiered January 29th, and it didn't leave theaters until February 16th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why it's not over 5 months. I overestimated, but it felt like a long time.
January 29th to when?
To February 16th.
That's only like half a month.
Yeah, so for me, I overestimated, but it felt like it's been there longer because the movie...
That's even less than 30 days. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.